As an African or Nigerian parent, there are things that are dysfunctional but somehow have just become the norm. And we have made the decision that we're going to be intentional about how we parent our two boys, Ethan and Elroy. So there are things that we will not be teaching them. Or we will make them aware of those things just to show them that there are better ways to go about life, better ways to go about certain things. And I say we because I have a guest today. You'll hear his voice. You'll hear his voice, but you might not see his face. Absolute love of my life, my wonderful husband, my partner in everything, the father of my kids. I'm actually happy to have him on the channel today. So let's go. Number one on that list is there is gender equality with God. From Genesis, you would see that. That's the book of Genesis in the Bible. You would see that God created man, male and female. And you also see further down in the New Testament in Galatians, where it talks about how we are joint heirs, men and women, the same with Christ. Our boys, they will respect women. They will respect themselves as well. Let me even just talk about the general misconceptions about the roles of men and women.
I personally think that the boys should understand that having women in your lives is not for them to cook, clean, basically become domestic staff. No, that's not simply the role of a woman.
Because you can pay for those things to be done anyway.
Exactly. And also, as a man, your responsibilities don't just stop at providing. And in the first place, myself, that shouldn't be the measure by which your manliness is judged. What you can provide or how much you can provide. You should be liked and loved for who you are, not what you can give.
And it's also a matter of self-sufficiency, right? Which just flows into our second point. We will teach them to be self-sufficient, to create their own opportunities where possible, to take on skills that would just help them survive as human beings, such as cooking. Surely we eat. So they will learn how to cook, clean,
wash,
groom yourself, just do basic things for yourself. Just be self-sufficient. And even in this time that we are in, the internet is full of information
and resources.
Like Google it. Go on YouTube. YouTube is a search engine.
When I started cooking back in 2007,
he throws down.
Before Nigerian content creators got on YouTube, it was phone call now. Call mommy or auntie Wanne and ask, how do I cook beans? How do I cook egusi soup? Give me step by step. I would write it down and just follow through.
And if you remember, even when we met in that time, there was never a day when it was like, okay, now that you have a woman, a female friend even, then I should now come and cook stew and soups. We didn't even, in fact, actually when we started dating in 2010,
and that Christmas,
it was like, you're going to cook for me. Do you remember the other day that you're going to do a fish dish for me? So these are small things that they should just be able to do.
Resourceful,
accountable. Exactly, resourceful and accountable for themselves.
Bookkeeping, budgeting.
Exactly. All of these things are necessary things that they just have to learn. Because
school doesn't necessarily teach.
Exactly. That school doesn't necessarily teach. We will teach them those things at home because we do this thing. So for example, with the budgeting, we budget all the time. In fact, there's this app that I use to, record daily expenses and whatnot. So these are things that they would grow up seeing us, because the thing with children is, it's not only what you say. They will pick up more from what they see you do, right? Your actions actually speak louder than your words. Another flow to number 3, which is money is a tool to achieve goals, provide needs, and create opportunities. There's so many opportunities that they can create for themselves and just actually live life to the fullest, right? Because, and I hope that we're going to have enough for them to be comfortable. However, we're also going to teach them that money cannot buy loyalty, or
friendship, or love.
Money can buy love. Money can buy love. If there are people in their lives that demand, will I say, that type of transactional relationship, we will teach them that those are red flags. Next point is men cry. Yes, all this men don't cry is a lie.
Have you seen
What do you mean? I've seen him cry plenty times. So in fact, let me even tell you one time that I saw him cry. When we had that, and I remember like 3 days my breast milk didn't come in. Breastfeeding can be difficult, right? So I started crying. I started crying one day. Ethan was crying because he couldn't really latch properly, and I was also crying and frustrated because my baby was crying. Oga turned to the wall. He cried. How did you not cry? Say the truth and shame the devil.
See, no comment.
What do you mean? No comment.
No comment.
But anyway,
I can neither confirm nor deny.
That is why they have tear ducts. We will teach them that it is okay to feel deep emotions and to let them out as tears, if possible. That dysfunctional and, will I say, toxic narrative that men don't cry, you have to be strong all the time. See, strong people die early in this life. Number 5, we're going to teach them about the dualities of life. As much as there is good, there is also evil. We're not going to shield them so much that, they are loved at home and they go outside and do not expect or know that people can be bad or evil. So we will equip them with the, will I say, conflict resolution tools and emotional intelligence tools that they need to navigate human relationships, for them to know that, see, they will act, as much as possible, they will always act from a place of kindness. But it's also to be discerning, to know when people are taking advantage of that kindness, for them to remove themselves from those situations and not stay there and say, but I'm meant to be kind all the time.
In other words, they should know when to change it.
Oh, baby, don't even change it. Change it. Actually, sometimes without being violent, you can show people that you also get your own grace. But we're going to teach them about the dualities of life. Number 6, we're going to teach them to be their brother's keeper. Recently, I even saw a video by Tito the writer where she was talking about sibling rivalry. We are going to show them how it is really important for them to love each other, to be friends. They can't be friends at home. And that has to come from how we treat them in the house, without showing favoritism, right? But of course, in the house, we're going to explore and deploy their strengths. We're not going to make his brother feel as if he's deficient because he's not good at that thing. We're just going to amplify, or will I say, expose the strength of his brother in another thing and just balance it out and just show them that they are both God's co-creators. They are both smart, they are both intelligent, but they are different, and that's absolutely okay.
It's just, there is no room for rivalry. There is no point.
There's no
sibling
point
rivalry. It's they should complement each other.
Yeah, that's the word, complement.
Yeah, complement each other. And personally, I know I learned a lot of things from my younger brother growing up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right.
Okay. Last but not the least, we as their parents will guide and pray for them, but we do not own them. Yes, just because they are our kids does not mean that we own them. They are God's own children, and we are custodians of them here in the world. We will raise them to be independent because they have their own minds. We cannot impose our own ideas of what careers they should have,
what academic courses they should study.
No, we will
Career
not do that.
paths to take.
We will guide them and we will pray. we will pray so that the Holy Spirit will help us identify their God-given talents, right? Because that is also important as a parent, that you steer your child in the right way. You know, it says, train up a child in the way that he should go. When he is old, he will not depart from it. If you read that scripture in the Amplified Version, it says, train up a child according to his bent. So it's not you will choose the path that child is going to be on. It's according to that child's talent, according to that child's creation, so to say. And that flows to just us also being accountable to God. Now, this particular point has small children. So it's like saying 7A. Family is everything when family is accountable.
Yep.
Because we are their parents does not mean that we have the right to infringe upon their God-given rights. And we're also going to show them that badly behaved adults in the world or within the extended family should not be tolerated or respected just because of their age. Now, we're not going to teach our children to go and fight people, but we would show them that bad behavior should not be accepted. They can remove themselves from the situation or report the situation to us, or even in times that necessitate it, defend themselves by opening their mouths to say, I do not appreciate you talking to me like this, because we're going to show them this at home. It all starts and in a way ends with how we treat them at home, right?
Yeah. Once again, respect is reciprocal. Because when you misbehave, you'll be spoken to accordingly. But if you are doing what you're supposed to do, and somebody just tries to talk down on you, you don't have to accept that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We actually have to say that I believe and I have seen that there are so many badly behaved adults. And in a way, we traumatize our children by excusing people who talk down on them or just act without any form of emotional intelligence. And then we put the onus of resolving the matter on a child, of letting it go. And I think that's very dysfunctional. We're not going to teach our children that, and we hope that we will show them this from home. And how we're going to do this also by fostering an environment for healthy communication.
Open and healthy communication.
Yes. We have to be able to talk to them in a way that
they talk to us.
Yes, in a way that is respectful of them. You cannot talk down on someone and expect that they will trust you and come to you with matters that require confidentiality. We will create an environment of safety for our kids, for them to know that when they come to us, they will get confidentiality and support all the time. And confidentiality, because in a lot of African homes, either you see, or your child has come to tell you something that they believe is personal to them, and the parent is telling either aunties or uncles
or pastors,
and then they are calling that child, and that child is feeling so embarrassed. Like, I told you this in confidence. This is how you break down the foundation of trust in your children, in your home.
They should expect confidentiality and support.
Yeah.
But that support does not mean sugarcoating things.
Absolutely not.
You will also be honest with them. You tell them where they have gone wrong, where they have made mistakes, where they have fallen short, and when it's their fault. Tell them. But of course, always leave room for grace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grace, as long as there's life, there's hope. You can still resolve certain things.
Yeah. It's just like even now, if we make a mistake, we apologize to each other in front of our kids. Or if we accuse them falsely. So for example, we think that, it's Ethan that made a mess with toys somewhere. And he's like, no, it's Izuna. But you've already shouted like, Ethan, why did you do this? Blah, blah. And he's like, no, it's Izuna. And probably maybe somebody saw that it was Izuna, the little one that did it. We apologized to him there and then, like, oh, sorry, Baba. We didn't know that it was Izuna. And then we go ahead to say, Izu. Now, Izu cannot talk yet. But it's practice. I said, you know what? Izuna, don't make a mess again. So these are some of the things that we have at the fore of our minds to expose our children to teach them, to help them as they navigate human relationships, as they navigate life. But I think that the greatest point in all of this is that we are going to leave our talk. There's no way that we would talk to them about these things without leaving it and expect that it will make lasting impressions on their minds. It's been fun having you, babe.
You're welcome.
Anyway, everybody, see you next time. Bye.